When I used to sit out on the gym floor, think about when it would be my turn to give my 8th grade speech, I would shudder. In fact, I'm amazed I'm even standing up here at all. I certainly never envisioned it would be about endangered species or Earth Day. With that said, I'm honored to speak here today to tell you about how I became interested in endangered species awareness. Did you know that modern humans have been around for 200,000 years? That may seem like a long time, but compared to many other species, it's not. Dinosaurs, for instance, lived on Earth for around 170 million years. That's 850 times as long as humans. So, how's it that I came to care about the length of time species have been on this Earth? I suppose my interest in the history of species began with my mom, whose interest in rhinos would continuously spark a conversation. Eventually, these discussions would lead to how rhinos are being poached or hunted for their horns, causing their numbers to decrease. However, I did not realize how drastically low their population has become until last year. In 7th and 8th grade, we are assigned to complete a humanities and art project called Voices of Change. Mrs. Ponton allows us to pick any topic or issue that we feel like we would like to change about the world. At first, I had no clue what I was going to choose. But after a couple of days of research, I finally focused my project on rhinos, because it was an issue I knew about and I wanted to change it. At that point, I was thrilled to get started and had numerous ideas. I knew that I wanted to create a clay installation, but I toiled over how to present it. Should my product directly express what I'm trying to say, or should it be interpreted by the viewer? One thing I did know was my primary objective was for people to grasp how dire the circumstances are for rhinos. As my project progressed, I was gaining more and more information about the many rhino species throughout the world. However, it wasn't until I researched the numbers of each individual species that I learned it for myself. The facts alarmed me. What I gained from all my research was this: rhinos are more important to their environment than many people understand. They help shape the landscape by eating tall grasses that help smaller animals roam, which they would not be able to do if the grasses were taller. Rhinos also help biodiversity, which means by choosing to eat one plant, it allows others to grow. This makes rhinos vital because they assist in helping their ecosystem thrive. It is deeply concerning that they are not being protected from hunters, and that was the message of my art, rhinoplasty. An ecosystem is defined as being a community of living organisms in a specific location. Most people have seen this image of an ocean food chain, where a small fish gets eaten by a big fish, and then the big fish gets eaten by an even bigger fish, and so on. Each animal or plant on our planet depends on others to thrive. By removing one, they cannot survive. For example, flowers need bees to reproduce, and bees need the food that flowers supply. This is an example of a symbiotic relationship. What if the bee went extinct? Then flowers could not reproduce and would disappear, which would impact other animals that need their growth and food, and become food for other species. This is a long-term effect of an animal going extinct. It does not just end with one species disappearing, but many. One major cause of a species being endangered is habitat loss. Cutting down trees for more land to build properties or for paper products are short-term losses, or short-term benefits, but major long-term losses. This is a problem that we are ignoring. People are hiding that animals are going extinct. Eventually, the problem will become too big that we will eventually be forced to take action so we ourselves do not go extinct. Most people think that because these issues are happening in different countries that they will not affect us, but in actuality, these problems will affect us. Nearly 16,306 species are endangered, some due to habitat loss and some to hunting. But this can be solved. One of the best ways is to spread awareness. By educating more people on environmental issues, more people become conscious and take action, which is critical. So, how can we help? The most important thing is to take into account actions that we do. We all need to be more conscious of seemingly small things that could really help, such as putting paper in the recycling bin or limiting our use of plastic. These are some things we do unknowingly because we do not consider the consequences of how it could be affecting our planet. There have been many efforts to clean our oceans, protect endangered species, or make laws about plastic. But the most critical thing is to make sure that more people know about environmental issues so they can be better to the world around them. This past Monday, we visited the Beardsley Zoo in Bridgeport, home to many threatened and endangered species that were perfectly adapted to their environment before drastic changes in human population put them in peril. In my opinion, it is our turn to adapt to ensure that these beautiful species do not disappear from our Earth. Thank you.